based. Creating a grading rubric isn't difficult. I'll show you how. You can create it in any word processor or graphics program you like. In the downloadable files folder for this course, you'll find an example rubric that you can use to modify for your own use. First, create a table.
Hello.
The table should have as many rows as criteria that you're going to evaluate.
Good.
+1 for a header row. In my example.
Yes, you said I should send it today. So I'm just doing this webinar, then 1:30 it will be on your desk. Yeah, 1:30 to 2, they expect it. All right. So, no problem. What is your budget?
Example, I've created 5 rows plus creating a grading rubric gives you as well as the student a clear and consistent foundation on which grades are based. Creating a grading rubric isn't difficult. I'll show you how. You can create it in any word processor or graphics program you like. In the downloadable files folder for this course, you'll find an example rubric that you can use to modify for your own use. First, create a table. The table should have as many rows as criteria that you're going to evaluate, +1 for a header row. In my example, I've created 5 rows, +1 for criteria. The table should have between 3 and 5 columns, depending on how granular. Computer-based exams have been growing in use, but beyond better graphics and a few advancements such as drag and drop. In this, what is a learning assessment? A learning assessment is a method to measure how much of the knowledge and skills a learner has acquired during a course of study. There are 2 types of assessment.
Hello guys, I think we'll be starting very soon. We are just waiting for more people to come in, because so far I'm seeing the list has gone to about 50, yes, 50 something, yeah, and things going on. At least if it reaches some level, we will just begin straight away.
Something means to make a final decision on something that is already passed. Learning assessment.
Because 10 minutes have gone, I think maybe 10 minutes is okay for us. Now that we have waited for quite a number, and I think many people are now online. I want to start by saying that we are happy that many things are taking place and many teachers are already responding. Last session, we were basically looking at the tool for supporting learners who are below maybe class or grade 3. If you can remember, we talked about a tool. Let me share with you. We talked about this tool called Class Dojo. And you said Class Dojo is one of the good tools, in fact, one of the best tools when you're dealing with kids who are younger. Although we are not talking with kids, as I'm seeing Owen saying here, that today Don't let it be kids. But I think last time we were not having kids with us.
There are three essential elements
we
to
were,
assess learning.
Sorry
They are
for
observation,
that.
cognition, and interpretation.
Let me just, perfect. Hello, I am from Italy. Somebody is watching us from Italy. This is just good. Let me just continue publishing some of this information and probably start by reading, and then we can just get Sarah as usual. Colleagues, Sarah is always tuned in and waiting. Thank you so much, Sarah. And we have Gitonga from Embu now. It is streaming well, like first session webinar. Yes, no problem. There is somebody called Giuseppe from Italy, all the way from Italy. Somebody's tuned in. Thank you so much. Valentine from Nairobi says I'm tuned in. Then we have Odur, signed in as anonymous, but is Odur. Omweri, tuned in and waiting. Hopefully, it is not about the children today. Yeah, it's not Watoto. The children are not in the room today, but I think we are just basically, even last time we were having teachers, but teachers who are teaching young kids. Because when it comes to young children, we need to give them tools that particularly addresses their challenges, because young kids, they have very, very funny challenges. And again, we're also looking at the challenges of those learners who have probably who are young, and despite being young, they are equally also very, very, I mean, they have a lot of challenges with concentration. So how do you handle such a class? Then probably they also have a problem with reading. You know, the young kids, they always have a problem probably with reading or writing, or even if it's reading and writing, they are having a problem reading and writing maybe bigger or a lot of content. So in such a case, what tool do you recommend? And that's what we said. We are recommending this tool called Class Dojo for such a team. And as usual, we said, it is very, very easy. You can just go to classdojo.com. And when you're in classdojo.com, as usual, you can log in, or basically you can as well do what we are saying, like you sign up or log in, and once you're logging in, you have a chance of logging in as a teacher, as a parent, as a student, or as a school leader. If you are in charge of the school, I think this is what we talked about, right? So Jefferson from Narok is giving us a very nice comment, and I'll be putting comments for you people to be reading. And if you have an answer, please kindly go ahead and give us what you think. Your opinion really matters. So we said for the younger kids, you can't really engage them with video which is more than 8 minutes. Remember, 8 minutes is usually like, or 5 minutes video is enough for the younger kids, because beyond 5, they'll not really be with you. And I guess I'm looking at age 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably all the way up to 6. And remember, the government wants the students to be able to get to grade 1 at age 6. But what about those who are in pre-primary? Nobody is really looking about them. And maybe, of course, we have people really trying to do something with them. I'm not going to say that nobody. Of course, we have a lot of efforts around, and everybody's trying to look around, what can we do? Class Dojo is a free resource, and we can be able to use it. And once you are in, remember, I'm just talking because I've seen a lot of feedback from teachers who wants us to do just a recap. So here in Class Dojo, once you've signed up, you'll always find a demo class with demo students. These are just demo, but you can add students, and you can create your own class, give it a name, and add students. When you add student to the class, then they'll be in class. You can even create groups out of your class. Remember, there are those who are saying, I want to make group work. I want to have students in group. So probably this group will contain the 2, and I'll call it probably table. The students will be probably, as usual, maybe they know their tables. Maybe this is table 5. the way they usually work together, and it's 2 students in that table. So you see, in my class, I have students, but some students are, now these are groups of students in my class. This is what is happening at class dojo level. So I think maybe this is very important. And whenever students submit work, you'll always find their work in portfolio. Because when students, like for example, I have a student called Beyonce, this is the work that she was able to submit. And if I click on the work, I'll be able to see this is the drawing that this child has been able to do. So as a teacher, I need to give feedback. And that's why now assessment becomes very key. And today, we are really talking about the assessment. And remember, when it comes to assessment, we have to know when we are doing assessment, what exactly are we looking for? And that is very important for us. That is why we are talking about. So when you are assessing the learner, what kind of comments we need to give the learners, and what kind of tools can we use for assessing, especially online assessment? Online assessment may not be as easy as it is for live assessment or face-to-face assessment, where you can use different ways. Probably if you are marking the hard copy paper, you may want to use ticks and all that. But what about the online comments, online feedback? Now that this student has submitted the work, this learner has submitted the work, because I gave probably an activity. And you can see in this activity, which I gave here, the activity looks very small there. I can always zoom so that you're able to see. And I can be able to see, let me just try and put it a bit big enough for everybody to be able to see. So in this activity, probably I say draw your cat. And one student have already submitted the work, and you can see six students are yet to submit their work. So once I've received this submission, what do I do as a teacher? Because that is the aspect of what's the essence, what's the goal of me assessing the learners? And it all begins, before you give feedback, you all have to remember that it all begins with the goals. What is the goal, the learning assessment goal? What are your goals as a teacher? What were you trying to test? And this is what beats the efforts of dumping, because we have seen that many teachers are using online space to dump content. So when you dump a lot of work, for example, you can see this work that we gave to the learners here, recognize and color. So you can see what we're talking about. If the learners, so what is the learning objective? So I can't give them 100 of such, and they may repeat the same mistake. So it is very important that we give feedback to the learners. That's something that's not happening in some. Of course, most of the teachers are already trying to give feedback, but some teachers are online, they are practicing online, they're really talking about it, they're really working, they're really helping learners, but they are not giving feedback. You can see you have given a learner almost probably 100, and I want to go to maybe Google Classroom. Remember, we had a team here who are in Google Classroom, who are using Classroom. Google Classroom probably is what I want to use now, so that we give you, I think, of course, classroom.google.com. There are teachers who are already in Google Classroom, and I think I remember, I don't know whether this is our classroom. Can we remember the class that we had, whether it was this one or was it, let me just see if at all we have a class that we can be able to use. Okay, I think maybe this, let me try signing into this so that we be able to see whether, remember, we want to see how do we use, probably that one is not giving us as whatever. I will just get that signed and I'll be sharing with you shortly in the classroom what really happens. Okay, great. Some are outside there, they're trying to log in, probably Yeah, maybe, okay. And I think it's not bad. Let me bring in the video, although today probably with a dark background, yeah, but at least I'm able to come out very clear. So probably let me just change the view so that we have also part of me on. Great. Right. Thank you so much. So I'm here just to also make sure you keep on watching so that you don't give up. So we are saying today we are talking about feedback, and it all comes from what we say, that it's all about assessment, because learning assessment is something very important. We need to talk about assessment. We have to talk about what are the goals, first of all, before you give an assignment. Because when you talk about feedback, feedback will be based on the learning assessment goal. When you are assessing learning online, it is a very big challenge, because at least face to face, it's very easy to get to assess whether learning is taking place or not, because you'll be able to talk to the learners. You can even see a learner who is not concentrating. You're able to detect that this learner has not got the point. But when it comes to learning online, it is crazily difficult, and learning assessment online is something, it's a topic that we may not be able even to cover within one day. So we are thinking, what do we do better than that? And how do we do? So it all begins with starting the objective of the learning. We may not get into this topic of learning, but we know that when you want to measure that how much knowledge and skills a learner has acquired during a study or during maybe the lesson or during when the time you're teaching them, this is where we're talking about a learning assessment. And of course, we have the two types of learning assessment. It can be formative or summative. And of course, with formative, we are talking about it taking place during a course or during the lesson. Learning is being evaluated. The learners can as well do self-evaluation when they're talking about assessment, or maybe it can be probably timely. It's always timely feedback, because you're giving feedback just immediately as the learning is going on, because there's no need of going to teach online, or we are going to give work online and we are not going to assess that work, because that is especially what is happening. And the temptation is what we are seeing, that okay, we are giving them videos, we are giving them PDFs, we are giving them a lot of work in terms of past papers, but are we able to assess that learning is taking place? That is the key area we are talking about today. And we are going to make this session as very interactive as possible. So I welcome your opinion, your word, your probably your questions and comments through the Q&A section. And I think I'll be bringing on Edward during some times there to be able to give us some guide on particularly this aspect of learning assessment, and maybe to an extent pushing us to how to create a rubric. So Edward, keep ready with your rubric way, or if you have anything you can be able to say. I'm seeing you're online and you're also with us. Great. So we are just talking about learning assessment, and part of the learning assessment, we say assessing learners is very important, and the formative assessment may be the way to go, and it's the one which is recommended by many teachers and many professionals. But again, there's a lot of low stakes, because it is not taken by students as if it is very, very timely, or maybe they don't really get a lot of seriousness when it comes to formative learning. And assessment. We want to see what can we do to ensure that formative assessment becomes key. And I think those people who are already working with the CBC or some of these wonderful systems that are coming, which are skill-based, you are being asked to focus more on formative assessment. Another assessment, of course, we know the summative assessment, done at the end of the course, or the end of the subject, or the end of a session, or something like that. And then, of course, there is a lot of stakes because people here, we are talking about grades. Like if you are doing this at the end of a level, like end of primary, end of pre-primary, end of grade 1 or class 8, now we are waiting for the final year exam. Stakes are very high because students fail. If they fail, it determines their next course of action in terms of probably career or in terms of doing something. And I think it's very important that we look at what assessment are we focusing our attention to, okay? And I want us probably to go to the next level. Probably that is where we are talking about maybe how do we now get this done, okay? And then of course at the summative, remember feedback is very minimal. And I think, remember, this is what many teachers are really doing now. That we are giving a lot of work, and it is a bit of minimal in terms of feedback. We are not giving a lot of feedback to the learners and even the parents. At this particular situation, it's even the parent. Today I had a session with teachers in one of the schools, and they were saying that they have been doing a lot of one-to-one feedback, giving feedback to parents, and that's why. And they had a lot of challenges giving feedback to parents, and probably feedback to the learners is very easy. But when it comes to giving feedback to the parents of the learners, it becomes a bit challenging. And teachers, because they are not used to giving, being accountable to parents, now they are really having it rough, and we are working. What can we do with one another so that we learn this aspect as much as possible? I'll go very fast because we don't have a lot of time when it comes to this, and we are not going to really push a lot of this in many situations. Great. So next is basically looking at some of the tools for assessment, because that is the most important thing now. As we are working through the assessment, many teachers are looking forward to learning some of the tools that they can be able to use for assessment. I don't know whether we had done. Let me see if at all we can be able to get. Yeah, I guess yes. So yeah, and there are students in this class. Great. So let us see the Google Classroom, and this is what. Remember last time when we were together, we were talking about this. And this one it has even students. Remember the class, and I think I remember, yes, the students, and most of you are here. And the students of, my students of Google Classroom, I know you are inside here. I'm waiting for you so that we work more, if at all you'd be available. But all in all, I want us, because now that we are using, this is now Google Classroom, those people are using this tool. And you can see the number of students who are able to join last time. And I want to go to the classwork. And in the classwork, you can see I gave, this is the assignment I remember giving in our last session. We gave you this assignment. It was on human behavior. And you can see the number of students who are able to turn in. Maybe if at all I can zoom a bit further. You can see the number of students who are able to turn in. And we're talking about 14 who are able to turn in. 9 probably out of these students, I think 9 assigned. They didn't turn in, and out of 14, I've been able to grade 7 of them. Maybe I was not able to grade the others out of the 14. 7 have turned in, 7 have not yet been graded. And remember, I think when we were talking about this, I don't know whether we got this area very clear. If you didn't manage to get this, again, I'm free here to help so that you're able to see. Phil, thank you. Welcome, Phil. We are on board, and we are just going through various ways of doing stuff. So we were able to do all this together. Remember, students were able to turn in. These were the quiz that I gave, an assignment, and I gave as part of the assessment. So during grading, we had an issue. Okay, so I'll want to see the ones who turned in. I've just clicked the 14 who are able to turn in, and I can look at them, and you see one of them is buried. Christine Ratemo, Geoffrey Mwaura, these are the students who are able to turn in this work. And you can see, I've not been able to, and you can see all of them here, turned in, and turned in. Benjamin was graded. If you can see Benjamin here, was graded. And Beryl turned in, but was not graded. Christine Ratemo turned in, but we have not yet graded. Because in terms of graded is when we are talking about giving feedback. And I think maybe if I give a small break, there are people who have really onboarded. Many people have come on board. But you can see what we're talking about, that giving feedback is very important, and teachers should really learn to give feedback. And if you're going online and we are not able to give feedback, we're not able to grade our work, then it's going to be so much in vain to be online, yet we are not helping. Yet we are not helping the learners. Sorry for that. I want to take just a small break because remember again, we only have up to 12:30 or 1, so that we will be able to be done by this. And I want us to get to the area where we are getting rubrics. People think we can't use rubrics, but I want to show you that rubrics is very important. How do we create those rubrics? That's our next level. And I'm waiting to see that taking place. Great. In terms of grading, okay, let me give you like 1 or 2 minutes break, and then we come to move with this. Somebody is requesting. I'll be reading your questions just shortly, kindly. At least there is no noise. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, the sound, I had muted myself and I forgot to remove. There are 2 questions I'm taking. One is, do we have such grading tools in MS Teams? Yes, a lot of it, and I'll just be taking you through MS Teams. We are doing a very good session. Next session, we'll be talking about Microsoft Teams, so that we just give you a little bit so that you see how wonderful the tool is, as much as we are talking about the tool. Great. So let us see in grading. So if these students of mine, if we go back to the screen here. Yes, thank you, Phil. I was on mute, but now I'm back. Thank you so much. All right. These students who are with us here, you can see Beryl, Christine, and the rest. So if I click on Beryl here, or even from this other side, I can see the ones who have turned in and those who have not been able to turn in. These are the students who have turned in this particular work. So let me go to Beryl and see what Beryl has been able to turn in out of the work. Remember, the question was name 2, maybe the characters of the animals. So I'll be able to see, mention, see, this is the question. The question was, mention some of the behaviors of animals: nesting, parenting, reproduce. This is what the learner has managed to turn in. This section of grading, I can grade. I need to grade, so I just grade, probably giving 40, 45 over 100, yes. And then remember, I add comment. Feedback is important. And feedback, whenever you're giving feedback, we are being told, try as much as possible not to use words like only good, bad, and stuff like that, but give effective and very, very appropriate feedback. Constructive meaning can help the learners to improve on the learning. For example, maybe I needed 10. So I'd say, Beryl, probably you have done well. Kindly ensure to give more characters, probably more behaviors, more points, like that. I mean, this may not be very effective, but I think you're getting the idea. You must really have really good points, because online, the word good and bad may not be enough. Remember, when we're talking about online teaching, we say that in online teaching, the communication must be very effective. If you don't communicate well, the learners may not be able to get especially what you're really talking about. So you post. When you post that, remember there's this particular part of return. If you don't return, then the learners may not be able to get this feedback. So you click on return, and then the student will be notified. And then when you click on return, the student is notified and the grade is taken to the student. That's as simple as that. And instead of going back to the listing, I said there was this particular button here for me to move to the next. So when I click next, I'm able to get to the next student who has also turned in, who is Rose Adhiambo Ayeko. And this one has only given me 2 points. So again, I'll give the points, maybe the marks. And then you see now when you are giving the marks alone like this, there's a lot of subjectiveness. There's a lot of subjectiveness when you're giving the marks. And that's why you will need a rubric. Somebody was asking, why a rubric? Guys, rubric is very important, because rubric is very, very, let me return that. And now I want us to create a rubric together. For you to create a rubric, I want to share with you some tools for creating a rubric. For example, because a rubric, whenever you have a rubric, first, when you are marking and guided marking. For example, we can go to tools like Rubric Maker. If you just type Rubric Maker here, Rubric Maker. In the Rubric Maker, let me just get Rubric Maker. There are people who think you have to create a rubric by yourself. And rubric, we really need to know how to create rubric, guys, because if we don't create rubric now, we may not really move far, because CBC is here with us. We are already in grade 4. It means in a couple of years, only 2 years, the CBC will be in in Form 1 or in secondary, and all teachers really need to have the CBC skills, the competency skills. And one of them is, it's skill-based. When you are talking about skill-based, you are going to look at that. So probably my rubric is about animal behavior, because that is the assessment we are talking about. So what do we want behavior project? Maybe it was a project that the learners were working on. And the level, maybe it's high school, middle, elementary, and stuff like that. Maybe if I bring this again closer, so that you see this one, it can be for primary or elementary or secondary or stuff like that, so that you see which level are we dealing with. So I can pick. It's very easy, and we have thousands and thousands rubric making tools online. And I know many teachers are not aware that we have these rubric making tools online. There are so many. You can imagine, and I want to deal with primary or secondary or elementary or high school and stuff like that. Let me pick even middle, because now the middle school. Then I click make. When I click make, I'll be given example, because the object, you can see, this is it. So my rubric is about animal behavior project. So these are the levels. Remember, and these are the criterion. Remember, there are criterion and then the levels. So we can look at the criteria. maybe the topic is about just, I want to check this, which skill am I looking for? The competency here. Is it artistic expression? If it was something to do with art, then I would be looking at the skill of artistic expression. Are the student having artistic expression? Am I going to assess the behavior? Or am I assessing the content? Or am I assessing the design? Maybe it's about digital portfolio, or they're doing a lab work, or is it maps and models, or is this media? I'm imagining they are creating a video and they are supposed to submit a video in the classroom. And what am I really looking for? Is it oral presentation? Maybe they're just doing their oral presentation. So let me imagine it is a media they are supposed to submit in this assessment. So I'm looking at which kind of media. Is it audio? Is it video or variety? So let's say it is a video. If they are doing that, you see, automatically the rubric maker gives me the different criterion and the different level of assessment that I'm going to use. And then I can even change all this. Like level 4, which maybe will come with, because the skill here we are talking about, skill of using a video camera. Is that what we are looking for? So if I'm checking the skill of using a video camera with my learners, then the video was extremely clear and easy to follow, used a variety of shot types, used close-ups and wide angles to make the viewer believe or feel in a certain way. The proficient level, the apprentice level, and the novice level. And remember, for CBC, we have it differently, put in a different way. And remember, in the CBC, our curriculum framework basically is looking at different. And if I have it here, we can always share. Remember, the curriculum framework in our CBC looks at it differently, and I think I can share with you. You can see the reason why I'm saying that very soon we have to be prepared. The teachers teaching in colleges, I mean, in colleges they're already done, because TVET is already talking about competency-based training. Already, all colleges they have already embraced the competency-based teaching. It is maybe secondary schools that are the ones that are still having knowledge-based teaching rather than competency-based learning and teaching. So if we are dealing with specifically competency-based, be prepared, guys, because it is coming your way and it is just there. So far, remember, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. We'll be talking about CBC. There are those people who don't understand this CBC a lot. And there's a lot of rumors and myths that have been put around CBC. And there are people dismissing it just because they don't want to learn more. But otherwise, guys, it is important we get to test the skills of the learners. Because if we depend entirely on the grades, I mean the grades of A, B, or C, or D, and E, then you realize that each and every year we are dismissing quite a lot of students and saying they are all useless. So I wanted to get to maybe some of the competency levels that we have in our system. Those are some of the subjects which are coming, and we are going to take you through all this together. And their competencies, I think I was looking for competencies. I may not be able to get them here, but of course, there are those that meeting expectation and stuff like that. I think I'll get that in a short while. Meanwhile, we can go with this, but the same concept is here. Those who are below expectation, approaching expectation, number 2, meeting expectation is 3, and then above or exceeding expectation is the distinguished here. You can change the whole thing. So if you had given these students work to create Gitonga, probably it was a way behind. I think maybe I'm clear and people are getting me. Gitonga, say, or Mweri. Okay, I will share all this, no problem. Okay, good. So we are saying that when you are creating a rubric, you must make sure that we have so many tools. I know teachers have been having problem creating rubrics, especially in the lower school, and they've been asking, how do I create a rubric? Do I create a rubric per child? Do I create a rubric per class? Do I create a rubric per probably per topic? And it is important, it is based on the activity, so that you know this activity I'm giving the learner, what am I expecting? For example, if you're giving the learners to do animal behavior project, and they are supposed to create video, they are supposed to take a video of the animals as they're behaving, and then they give you. So what will you be looking at? Maybe you're looking at the way the video, maybe level 3, or this one should be the ones that are meeting your expectation. Video is clear and easy to follow, uses a variety of shots types, and moved from close-ups to wide angles, the different angles. You are able to see the video. Now you are just assessing the video taking skill of the learner, the skill of using a video camera. Maybe another thing you want to look at is the content. Maybe the content of that, probably the content of the video. What are you looking, amount of information you want to see in the video on probably maybe, yeah, the creativity. What did you see? Did the student, when you're looking at the creativity of the learner, and again, this place becomes populated very fast, okay? And you can see project demonstrated students' own interpretation, their own interpretation, or students' own interpretation and expression of research materials used graphs, charts, or other visual aids to display the information in multiple ways. Probably you had given them work. So this is how it is very easy to check on that. So if, for example, my work was just looking at that, then I would really actually look at this. So these are maybe the 2 criterion I'm looking at. I'm looking at the media, how they are using the skill I'm looking at, skill of using the video camera. And in that project, I'm also looking at a skill of having some unique delivery, skill of delivery, and using probably creativity in delivering. So once I'm done like that, what do I need to do? I just click. You can add as many criterion as possible. You can add as many other things as you want to have them. So ensure, correct. So let me just keep changing again so that we are together here. So you see there's a rubric maker. This is something that many teachers, especially those who are now moving from 844 to CBC, are having a lot of problem. They don't know how to create a rubric because they have never really used a rubric to assess learning. Because rubrics are very good. One, they are skill focused. They are not focused on knowledge. In any case, there's nobody here in the room who can say they know everything that is not. In fact, anything you know today, let me put it this other way. Everything you think you know, we can Google it and find it. So it's the world we are headed to is not a world of what you know. It is a world of what can you do? And we want the learners to be able to do something. And therefore, we have as teachers to be able to embrace skill-based training, skill-based teaching, not knowledge-based teaching. It's not about what they know, it is about what they can do with what they know. And that's where rubric is very important, because with rubric, you will be checking on each and every skill. For example, here, in my project, I've given these students a project on animal behavior. Maybe I told them, excuse me, maybe I told them, I'd given them in my assignment, I'd given them work to look at this as maybe I created an assignment and told them to take a video of the animal behaviors at home and upload. So how will I assess the video? It's not about have they submitted the video. It's not enough. And then even if they have submitted the video, how am I going to give feedback to based on the video? I don't know how you people you're looking at it, but I wish I would hear maybe teachers would tell me something. I can give you a mouth. Edward, I'm seeing you online. Edward, if you're online, can you chip in if at all you can? Right.
No, I'm just happy that we are able to.
We can't hear you.
Sure.
On your Audio, Edward.
Can you hear me now?
Edward, we can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, you're really struggling. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me
Can
now?
you leave and get back again? Leave the meeting and go back, come back again, Edward.
Can you hear
Yes.
me now?
So that you tell us more about this aspect of probably rubric, because rubric is one thing that many teachers are really having an issue with. They don't know how to create a rubric. They even don't understand what this rubric is all about. We are talking about the modern ways of assessing learning. It is not the old ways of assessing learning. Learning is not about A, B, C, D. Learning is never about a good grade, grade A, B, and grade D, grade E. Learning is about skills. What skills are we giving to the learners? This is one thing that teachers really need to start embracing, because that's the best way. I'm talking to the college teachers, college instructors who are in the room. They are already embracing competency-based training. It's about the skill. So if you have given students work to deal with, probably to come up with, to make some video, how are you going to assess the video? You have to come up with a rubric. So a rubric guides you how to assess. That's the same way we have marking schemes that guide you and gives you various marking schemes. Then a rubric acts as a marking scheme for the project, for the activity, for the learning activity that you have given to the students. So ensure you try as much as possible using a rubric in your teaching. And no teacher can tell me they can't use rubric. As a high school teacher, I've used rubric, even with the 844 system. So it means there's nothing about 844 that you can say you cannot really be able to adapt. So it's not only knowledge based, but you as a teacher. And one thing I think we'll be talking about this in our next, what is project-based learning? How do you design a project? How do you come up with a project? And how do you give students to go through? And how do we make that project become cross-curriculum so that it cuts across very many subjects? Maybe it has math, it also has biology in it, it has a bit of language in it, and it also has probably, look at a project like you're giving students to talk about weight management, or even the issues to do with taking care or keeping safe during the pandemic. And they look at that as a project. What are they going to look at? One, probably you tell them, can you give us some of the ways of giving safe probably during the pandemic, and get probably the number of people. They can look around, look at the data of the people who are already victims, or the people who have been the cases in their various community. What are some of the positive cases? What are some of these kind of cases? Draw a graph of those cases. Come up with a graph, or rather create a video of you probably trying to even maybe ask or interview your community members, or probably in their family household. What is their view? How many of them are doing something like that? So probably they have created the video and they have now shared with you the video. Okay, you can look at the video. What was the video? Was the video extremely clear? This now beyond expectation, what we are calling exceeding expectation in CBC. And then just meeting expectation. This is very proficient. Apprentice is just approaching expectation. And I've decided to use all these terms because I'm having in the team here, I'm seeing teachers from TVET are here, the instructors are here. I'm seeing teachers from secondary and high schools are here. Then we're also seeing teachers from primary schools are also here. And even CBC teachers are also part of this. So it is very important you learn how to create a rubric. And a rubric is something very important for us. So once you are finished creating the rubric, I've just given you a sample. You can go to Rubric Maker and you'll be able to get, and there are so many other tools outside there you can use. You can as well sit down with your Excel file and start giving all these, but at least you'll get some guidance from some of these, the terms to be used. Even this is not cast on stone. You can still change all this. There's a way you can even make it even better. You can even add more rows. You can add more in case there are other skills you are still looking around to test. Kindly look at that. Once I'm done, I can click finished. And when I click finished, so because again, it's not saved. I don't even want it to be saved. Because remember, I'm not signed up, I'm not logged in. So it is one of those tools which are very, very good. So what can I do? I can download it. So where is it? And probably, did I really, did I really download it? Okay. I really needed to have printed it. Oh, it's already up. Just wait a minute. I think this is the rubric, sure. This is the rubric. This is the rubric here. You can see that is the rubric. Already it's ready. If I click on it, it will come. But I want to print it or download it. So I click print rubric. When I click print rubric, which is the next, just the next item there, and then I am able to print. When I click print rubric, I think it opens. It has opened in another tab. Let me just get that tab for you. I don't know. Yeah, it opens as a PDF. And let me just get that, because apparently it doesn't. Okay, now it's displaying for everybody. Good. So you can see it opens as and you can see this is the rubric they're talking about. You can put your name there, the Animal Behavior Project. Now, skill number 1 is to make video. I mean, the maybe activity of making video. Skill here, I'm checking the skill of using a video camera. And then I'm looking at the distinguished student would have done, what can I gauge as the distinguished student? What can I now gauge as this proficient? And what can I look at the novice and stuff like that? Content creativity. How was this? And I'm looking at the unique delivery of the student. You see, as a rubric, as a teacher, you may not be able to do this transparently. You'll always have these students who are your best student, you know, they're always good. So because he's a good student, you can even say, this one I just give 80%. I don't want to even think about it. I'll just give them 20%. You know, that idea of I'll give them all the marks. But when you use a tool like this, you have things to look at. First, you are looking at, was the video clear? Yes. Was there a variety of shots? Yes. How many? Wide, close angle? Yes, I have seen some close angle. I've seen some wide angle. You know, you are guided and you are marking and feedback. And when you're now assessment is very transparent and it's very, very clear. And the learners get motivated when they get this done, okay? So it is very important. And if you're now using a tool, for example, you are giving an assignment in class and you're using a tool probably if you're using a tool like Teams, and I want to put here Teams. This is Teams. If you're able to see Teams, yes, that is like Microsoft Teams. And probably now in this Teams, I have a class. Let me see the class I'm dealing with. A student has just returned, very last time. Okay, great. So let us look at this grade 4, for example. I can go to grade 4 class. In Teams, I'll be teaching you how to create classes and look at the assignment that I've given students. So if you can view the assignment that I gave the learners in grade 4, you can see that there's assignment, and I think let me probably I'll make it a bit big. So no student may have done, so I can edit the assignment and probably say give the student instruction and stuff like that, and add many things here in the assignment and even add resources. It is small, don't worry. I'm going to work on it. So in terms of grading here, again, you'll have this element of adding a rubric. So when I click on this, and you can be able to see all this, given that next week we are going to visit the local market to find some of the cereals sold in the market, create and share questions that you would wish to market the market vendors, to ask the market vendors. You see, you can be telling them all this, and then you can see there's a rubric here. Did I create a rubric here? Yes, so you can see there are this that meets expectation, 4 points, exceeding expectation, 4 points, and I think maybe it's just a bit small, and then meeting expectation, approaching expectation, and then we have to put criterion. And that's what we were talking about. You can put criterion in each and every section. And that is what we were probably bringing in this particular aspect, where you now put the criterion. If you can see this, let it come online. Yes. So you can see, if that is the kind of work you want to give to the learners, you want them to go to the, let them prepare questions that they are going to ask in the market. So, and you are looking at that as part of your thing. So rubric is very important. If you're not getting this, I know maybe you're coming from the background of knowledge-based education system where you don't use rubrics, but as soon as you get to CBC and probably competency-based for college and the university, then we will be able to talk about, we will be able to get this concept very clear, because the whole world is turning to using, to competency-based as a way of working with students. So let us use some of this in any of the classroom, but I'll be showing you, I think I've shown you the Teams, and Teams is an amazing tool, guys. Teams is so amazing. I think we'll be teaching you about this in our next level, where we'll just be taking you through Teams. How do you create a team, or how do you create a class? Like, these are all my teams. And how do you post in the class? How do you grade? The way we have been using, probably I've been showing you in Google Classroom, but again, I'll show you now in Teams, and you'll see that Teams happens to be more an amazing. So if I go back to the classroom and I have students here, now let me just get back to the classroom itself. So probably I'll have to probably go and maybe close this, because let me just minimize, bring it a bit low so that I get all the tools I'm looking for. Probably not really. Let me just get the classroom itself. So maybe, oh no, the classroom is here. Sorry, I was in the marking space. The classroom is here. So with this in the classroom, I can go to the class here. Let me just bring this again, bigger again, so that we're able to see. We've said there's classwork, and there is people, which is the people in the class. The classwork is here, and Beryl is online. I can see Beryl is online, and the other teachers are here, the other students are here. So in case, when it comes to grading, of course, you can only grade the work which was given. But you see, we don't have even a rubric. So how do I include a rubric in this particular case? What you do is, when you go to classwork and you want to create any assignment, for example, maybe it's an assignment that you want to create, and the instruction is there. Let me just close that. Then, as you are creating an assignment, like video recording, sorry for the typos, video recording is the assignment, and yet maybe you're telling them record animals and share the video. Okay, so you see that, and probably you can add anything you want. So once we are done, or maybe you can add even a documentation or anything, documents that you want to do that. So this is the assignment. I've already given the instruction. Then when do I need it? Due date is, I cannot say, maybe the topic is all that. But now rubric, you can see where rubric is. I want to add a rubric here because I want to use a rubric to mark. Now I click on rubric and I create. You can reuse, you can import if you have used one using Microsoft Excel or Google Sheet or whatever. So I want to talk about creating rubric because I want to attach the rubric to this assignment. That's how you do it even in the competency-based learning or competency-based teaching, where you use a rubric particularly for the learning and for a particular assessment as you are assessing for the learning activity. So let us see the rubric. So I create a rubric, and then remember we have our rubric here. So I'll just copy paste this rubric of ours. We already have a rubric here. I'll just copy paste. Maybe the title is animal behavior, video project. Oh, okay, this is a criterion, don't worry. I think maybe already we've talked about that. Okay. Let me say, no, here it's not, this is criterion, sorry. This is the title is there. So let me just get you back very quickly. I'm sorry for that. So this is basically the title, that video, making video. So skills of making video. So I'll pick make video media making. Okay, let me just copy just this one alone, like this, and I take it back here to the criterion and probably paste that video making. So what is the criterion description? So the description of the criteria is what I'll be getting from this particular section. Just this particular, the skill I'm looking for, basically in the video making, I want them to really demonstrate that they have a skill in video making. So I'll just put this skill here, skills of using a video camera. That's what I'm now looking at. Remember, it is about video making, but the first skill I want to see, do they know how to use a video camera? And this, I'll give 4 points for this. 4 points for this particular criteria. Now, let me see the criteria. This 4 points for the first one, which here is called distinguished. Okay, let me, and that one, let me take you back. I'm sorry, I will be moving and I'll be a bit slow. The level title here is exceeding expectation. Remember, expectation. And the description is this student who is exceeding expectation. The video is extremely clear. You can see this use different shots, the angles, the viewers, and then of course you make the viewers feel certain way. So that is the criterion. That is level 1. Now the next level would be which I'll give 3 points, and this one is this one here. Remember, I'm just copying from the Rubric Maker. I know many people don't know that we have Rubric Maker, and this one is the next, probably. Let me remove this out of the way. I will be taking you through Microsoft Teams in our next session, so kindly don't worry, we'll be together in this. Okay, good. So I keep checking. Sorry if the video decided to disappear. Correct. So let me copy that, and then I come back to here, which is here in the whatever. But so you see, I'm just copy pasting the same things here. This this is not the place. Sorry, that is now meeting expectation. Remember these things. These students are now meeting expectation. Remember, we are saying rubric is very important for assessing. If you don't feel the importance, it means you are seriously a knowledge-based teacher, and that is what we don't want. In the coming century, we are talking about teachers who are skill-based. You are talking about, you want to look at, you want to give the learners the skills, not the knowledge alone. So let me imagine we have those two levels, and probably below expectation. So here again, you can put again something else. Let me just finish with this because of time, so that I show you once you have delivered and copy, and then so once I've created this, remember I didn't even create the they say, did create the rubric from scratch. I went to the Rubric Maker and we were able to get this done. So once I'm done with this, I can save the rubric because I have only 3 levels. We will use it for scoring. Remember that part of, I'll use it for scoring. So this is my rubric, 2 points, 4 points, 2 points. So this is my rubrics. So once I'm done and I will use the rubric now for grading this assignment or for scoring. When students come in, the points is 100, but I'll be using the rubric. How I wish a student to sign in. Any student online who can submit this for this assignment, because you see it is now assignment created, and we can be able to see it is here. Remember, there's this one of last time, but the one for today is this one, and we can see this is the assignment. Video recording is the assignment created. So if I click on video recording and I want to grade, out of the 30 students, none of them have turned in. Can one of you try turning in? I can give you 1 minute, you turn in. Then we use this video, this rubric to score, and you see how to use a rubric to score on an assessment, on assignment. Anybody turning in? 0 turned in. Oh, I have 0 turning in. But all in all, if there was anybody who has turned in, you would see I would go here to turn in, and then I click on turn in, and then because none of these students have been able to turn in any of the work, so I can't be able to mark. But if any of them had turned in, I would show you how to use a rubric. Maybe not today, but in our next video, I'll be showing you how to use a rubric to mark. So today we were just making a rubric, and today we also, remember it's feedback and rubric assessment, rubric, and probably feedback. And we have done a bit of feedback. We have also done a bit of rubric. We have made a rubric, and we have also assigned a rubric and attached a rubric to an assessment, an online assessment. So if students were to turn in this work now, I know these students are still working on the work. When they turn in, you can turn in even an empty. Just click turn in and we see what you'll be able to upload, because it will require them to upload. So let us imagine they are going to turn in. When they turn in this work, definitely we are going to mark using the rubric. So kindly, it is important that we learn all this stuff and are able to, so you see in the class, these are the students, these are the communication of the students, you can see them. Classwork, in terms of classwork, we can see that there are assignment. There's this assignment posted in this on 17th April, and there's this assignment that we have posted today on 24th, today. So these people in the room, we can see teachers, or there's only one teacher, but the rest are students. And then, of course, grades. Here is where we are seeing those who have, whom we have given grades. You can see the class average, the students who have done it. There are students who didn't even submit. And as a teacher, you can now follow. These are some of the challenges of online teaching, because you will be in a lot of problem, especially as you are looking at probably the whatever, when the students have submitted and those who have not submitted, and you have to give them enough time. I'm saying this because you never know. We will be talking about this very soon. Number 2, remember, you can even give an online exam and students do real exam. In our next level, probably we'll be talking about how to create an online exam so that we work with it. I want you to see, some of us, we decided that we said we wanted to be party. We want to collaborate and work together in maybe in an online management system or online school. And we have created a school here that I want to share with you. This is what we are going to be using very soon. Maybe from tomorrow, or from Monday, or even today in the afternoon, I'll be calling the teachers who say they wanted to try. So this is the online platform that we are going to use. We have already created the platform. It is our own. It is a mixture of every other feature. That is a full learning management platform. It is not as probably the others that we have talked about. It may not be a class dojo. It may not be a Google Classroom. It may not be that, but we have made it to look seriously like a real classroom where students can take exam, students can learn things on their own, self-paced learning. But again, we can also manage and look at the students as they are learning all this stuff. So you are welcome to we are going to bring on board teachers. So soon we are going to give your names there as our teachers. So far we have just dummy teachers here. And then we are happy to have students. The teachers have already signed in. About 300 teachers have signed in or signed up. And we are going to give you this very soon so that students will be able to log in, to register, to apply for in this school of ours, and even to be able to register themselves. And those who want to do, because we'll give different subjects, international curriculum, entertainment classes, foreign languages, and you can sell, so we can buy, students can buy, and then they can be able to log in and pay and start learning with the others. Or we can even give it, we can register our own students. So this is the class we are moving towards. We are going to start it from probably next week as we are looking. Inside this platform, students can do exams and teachers will create a whole learning lessons in a topic using everything possible. Remember, the videos that are interactive, we'll have them here. Remember, anything that we have ever used, we'll have them here. Anything that you have ever thought about, maybe this is a bit way ahead, beyond Google Classroom, beyond any other tool that we have shown you. This is now a full learning management system. We talked about learning management systems, and this is just one of them that we have created. The good thing about this is it's been localized and customized for our own, for our local needs. So we are going to change some of these things and update them. Any question, guys? Because I think we have 2 minutes to end. So if there's any question, we will be giving you feedback. But at least if you can read, Omweri says, we should share with us the curriculum in PDF. Yes, Omweri, this curriculum, I think it is the one for CBC. If you don't have it, of course, we will share. You can give me, you can write to me so that I share with you the curriculum. Somebody has been grappling with network issues. Now it's done. It is, remember we are supposed to do, thank you, Phil, for coming in. We still love to work with you. Teachers who have attended, thank you guys. I can see you've been so many here. And I think maybe we will continue. Pamela Odipo, welcome, Pam. Very well, very clear. Thank you so much for getting that. Great. I think maybe we've done amazingly. So we want you to come online. We even have the space of special education, probably special learners with special academic needs or other intellectual needs. So we will also want teachers who are dealing with them to also come on board, because apparently right now, maybe they've been left away. We don't have them in the system, but we are going to really bring them on board so that parents can either log in or students can be able to come and start using this platform. So the platform is ready and soon we are rolling it out, and teachers are going to, we have a login space. We're going to take you step by step until you get this done. Thank you guys, and I'm happy. It is 1 o'clock, as we said. We are going to stop here, and thank you. Wish you well. Take care, stay safe, and let us pray for those who are unwell and those who are inconvenienced by the situation as we are talking today. Remember, when you're talking to students, give them hope and always give them. Thanks a lot, Phil. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much, Phil. Welcome. Thank you, guys. Bye. Phil says share the link for the platform. Okay, I will be sharing. Somebody say, when did the teachers sign up for the online? I wish to be. How can I join? Oh, the teachers. We have around 400 teachers who have signed up, and I'm just wondering how we are going to work with the 400. There are too many, but no problem. We are going to share. What you need to do, as usual, we say. Kindly, you can reach me. Let me just share my email address so that you can reach me. Then I'll share with you the link. And also the link for the form that teachers are using to join. And then also I'm going to share with you the curriculum and the link for the platform. Kindly reach me on that email, or maybe if you want to call, always try, you can call me on the number that is there. Yeah, the number already put in the announcement, so you'll be able to see. So far, this is the IAN space. And when you are in IAN, definitely you are going to get us there. It's just IAN.africa/LAN, and in the LAN, you're able to get everything you can be able to see as we are speaking here. We want to do, what can we do with educational resources? How can we make them very, very good? And how do we really come up with a very good world's smartest school learning platform? We are creating the best learning platform, having used and brought in every other thing outside there. We want to see how can we have our own. The email it's been put on the our email. The email has been put on the chat space. So this is the platform we are thinking of. Now teachers will be joining this, and we'll start teaching. Thank you so much from Italy, Giuseppe. Thank you, Giuseppe, for joining us all the way from Italy. Thank you so much. Because that's part of the IAN. Remember, IAN is a network of teachers who are very, very, very passionate about using technology to teach, and they are able to do something. So today, that is very good for us. So once you come to this particular space, if it's a teacher, you'll want to log in. You'll be requested to log in, and if you click login page, you will be requested to have maybe it's taking a bit of time, but that is actually the login page, and that is where we want you to log in as the IAN school. As you can see, it is IAN school, one of the schools. So we are creating a school, and this is basically because of the teachers whom we are working with, and also the team that is also supporting us. Thank you so much. Maybe it's good. I've seen people. You can now leave at your own pleasure, and we are happy to see you guys. Bye-bye.